Chris Canetti explains why Houston is perfect for 2026 World Cup, exclusive. Chris Canetti has opened up on why Houston would be a perfect host city for the 2026 World Cup. The showpiece competition is due to be staged in Canada, Mexico and the United States. It will be played with 48 teams for the very first time too. It was announced back in 2018 that the USA, Mexico, and Canada had been chosen to host the tournament. And Canetti is now in charge of Houston's bid as they look to secure the rights to hosting some of the matches. Houston has hosted many sporting events over the years, ranging from the Super Bowl to the Final Fours. It's also home to NASA and the largest medical center on the entire planet. So, according to Canetti, this makes them ideal hosts. There's a lot to that answer, he said when quizzed on why Houston would be perfect. First and foremost, I want to point out that Houston is the fourth largest city in the United States. And that's not always a common fact to many people. It's the largest city in the state of Texas. We have hosted more major sporting events than any other host candidate city since 2004, Super Bowls, Final Fours, major football matches that have come through on the international side over the years. Houston has been there and done that when it comes to hosting major events, and not just hosting them, but successfully hosting them, putting on some of the best events that have ever been put on. At the same time, we like to call ourselves operationally ready. In part it's due to our vast experience in hosting events, and it's also connected to the world-class infrastructure we have in place. Think you know sport? Test your sporting knowledge with our tricky quiz. We've got a vast array of hotels and accommodations and sites to enjoy while they're here for the World Cup. And we're also one of the most diverse cities in North America. Being an international city, a city with great internationalism, is a perfect place to host an event like the World Cup. And lastly, I would say we have a spirit about us as a city. We call it the spirit of Houston. That really lifts us to this intangible next level as being a great host for events like this. That spirit is shown time and time again when other sporting events have come through our city. I think we have a great list of attributes when it comes to hosting something like this. The MLS has grown massively since the last time the US hosted the World Cup, back in 1994. Headline names such as David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Ashley Cole, David Villa, Andrea Pirlo, Thierry Henry and many others have helped enhance the sport. And Canetti believes hosting a World Cup in Houston can lead to further development. I think the sport has been growing steadily for a lot of reasons. There was a decision that made 20 years ago that MLS, that it needed to rebrand and how it did things to align itself more commonly with the international football community. That was followed up by massive investment into soccer-specific stadiums around the country, and the development of this has been so key to the success of the clubs, both from a branding perspective and financial and economic perspective. Houston included. Don't miss 4 Man United players. West Ham could accept in Rice swap deal. Abramovich backs punishment for Chelsea striker Lukaku. 6 players Liverpool could axe this year. There are other moments like David Beckham that have been strong positive moments. I think his arrival to the league and his contribution to the league have been helped in a big way and put the league on the worldwide map. Again, if it wasn't for strong ownership, making investments in clubs and stadiums, and the positive trajectory of the game have contributed to the league continuing to grow. It has a very bright future. As with any major tournament, legacy is key. And Canetti believes Houston can benefit from hosting a competition and insists they're already planning ahead for the future. First and foremost, if you go back to the World Cup in 1994, that led to the development and the launch of Major League Soccer. That legacy it had in 1994 was massive. So I can only imagine how the legacy of 2026 can advance the game for the next level here. As it pertains to Houston and our bid, we've been focused on legacy from day one. From the mayor and all the way down, we've said we want to bring the World Cup to Houston and make it a better place. When the final whistle blows, it's about the impact the games will have over here. Our vision has been driven by that, he said. We've been very focused on a legacy structure that is based on 3 pillars. 1. Growing the game, 2. Defending human rights and 3. Protecting the environment. So we're looking to find ways around the World Cup coming to Houston to help advance those issues in our community. We even, a few months ago, announced the Soccer Innovation Institute. Should we win the bid, that in-state will go into full effect. It's in place to bring the vast resources of this community together. We have the largest medical city in the world, biggest energy capital of the world. We have NASA. We have all these things in this city that other places don't have. It makes us unique. We want to pull all of those resources together, including the soccer community, from the pro level down to the youth level, with everything in between. We want to use this institute in conjunction with the World Cup coming to Houston to impact it in a great way. Legacy is really key to our bid, and we've been focused on it, we've prioritized it, and hopefully we've made a case to the decision makers that if they put the World Cup in Houston in 2026, the impact we'll be able to create from our legacy strategy will be great. Canetti has previously worked with the Houston Dynamos and has spent over 25 years working in the industry. This, however, is the biggest challenge of his career. "Yeah, this is a huge challenge, so important," he said. The FIFA World Cup is the most popular and prestigious sporting event in the world. It's a generational thing, it's only going to come around every 30 years or so. 1994 to 2026 is 32 years, so it can also have such a massive impact on a community, on a region. Winning this bid is really important to our city, and it's been an awesome process to lead over the past 3+ years. Hopefully at the end of the day Houston is chosen as the host city, and that will be something I'm very proud to have led for our community.